What's happening, everybody? Thank you for being here at All Access Live with Kevin Rankin. You may have come here for my incredible guest, Jason Bittner. But before we get started, I'm going to do two things. Number one, I would love it if you came here from Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, any place else. Go over to YouTube. Go to this link below. Go to youtube.com/@accesskevin. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like this video. And I want you to share it with your buddies. If you so choose, you can become a member, and members get exclusive access to certain episodes, only privy to those folks. Backstage, hanging with Kelly Keegi at his place, hanging out in a couple of secret environments for some special guests. So the members get exclusive access, but subscribers just get everything for free. So go to this youtube.com/@accesskevin. And also, this episode is brought to you from an amazing guitar shop in Beaverton, Oregon. So if you're interested in guitar or playing, you want to get lessons, get accessories paid for, get a great discount by going through 5starguitars.com and using All Access Live at the checkout. You're going to save 15% there. Plus, there's no sales tax in Oregon. So if you're in the States and you want to order guitar stuff for free, for cheap, no free, no sales tax, go to 5starguitars.com, use All Access Live at the checkout. So my next guest was with me a week ago. We had a really cool taped recording, and he had way too many stories to be able to share to put into one episode. So I brought him back, and he's here with you live right now, Mr. Jason Bittner.
With a gag order on this week.
No way, man. No, you know what? I think we skipped some of the stories.
What's he gonna say this week that we can turn into a blabbermouth dramatic headline of bullshit?
Was Blabbermouth, was that one from our clip? Is that where that one came from?
It was, dude.
Oh my God, man. I'm sorry for getting you in trouble.
Dude, I knew the moment that the interview goes live. Look, these social media sites, and especially Blabbermouth, all it is a poaching site. They're looking for the moment that I say anything negative about anything. It's not going to say anything about how we talked about our love for 80s new wave, how we talked about Category 7. None of it. The only thing it says was Jason Bittner spouts off about what he was paid in Overkill or whatever bullshit way they wanted to, take the comment and then spin it. So I was totally prepared, and I was like, wow, it actually took like 2 days. I'm surprised it took 2 days to happen.
Brother. So, you know what, man? Honestly, I didn't, for two things. I didn't remember you saying anything inflammatory, and I didn't read the Blabbermouth article.
It wasn't inflammatory at all, because what I said was 100% true. I'd repeat exactly everything I said the other night. I'd say it right now again. Yeah. But what they did was, because what they love to do is they love to just stir the pot. Like, in case you didn't see this 2 years ago, we're going to attach this interview that he did 2 years ago with those other things that he said. So then it brings up all this crap that was already brought up 2 years ago. And it's like, my God, do you really have, is this really newsworthy? Because that's the first thing I go. I'm like, if this is really metal news, then that's sad. I mean, that's,
well, you know what?
Really,
I think it's awesome that, you get some, and they talk about all press being good press, but the fact that the fact they're paying attention to drummers, I think is great, man.
Exactly. But you know what? When they're not paying attention, if I was to announce a 15-day clinic tour right now and put a poster up, they wouldn't even touch that.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's the problem.
Hey, well, have you done quite a few clinic tours?
I used to do a lot of them when it was a thing. I mean, nowadays it's just tough. There's no market for it. There's no money in it. I mean, music stores are totally changed. And the fact that the part of a clinic is to sell equipment.
Right.
But if you don't have a clientele of people that are coming in the store anymore, or if kids want to be a DJ or something like that, or they got their computer, they don't need an instrument, they're not selling, they don't pay people to come in and do a clinic. That's for sure.
That's the truth, man. I mean, the funny thing is, people that haven't done clinics, or they are not really familiar with the business, they assume that stuff like that happens, that endorsements happen where they're actually not only giving you gear for free, but they're paying you crazy money to play drums and play these drumstick companies. And the fact of the matter is, man, really those companies are hurting as much as a lot of us are,
Absolutely. So I've never been I've never been paid to play any item in my entire career. I've had one offer. I had an offer back in maybe like 2000, maybe like 2008, 2009 or so from D-Drum, when basically D-Drum was buying every single drummer that they could.
Right.
And they basically told me, like, we'll write you a 6-figure check right now. We'll write you a check for $100,000 to come here. And I'm like, if I do this, every single person in this industry and any person that supports me and likes me as a drummer, especially at the time, because I was still with Tama, if they're a Tama player, anybody's going to know that this shit stinks. That, you know why he went there. He went there to get the money. That's why he went there. He didn't go there because he goes, wow, this is the best snare drum I've ever played in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, well,
so I always kept my integrity with that.
You mentioned playing Tama before too. I mean, Charlie's been your dear friend Charlie Benante. We'll get into Charlie's stuff a bit today, but he's been a Tama guy ever since I've known him. Right?
Yeah, I was a Tama guy for the longest time. I mean, I was a Tama kid. I mean, I was a child of the '70s, so really, Kiss was my first foray into gear and knowing gear names, because we remember what it said in the back of the Kiss albums.
Right.
Kiss uses what? Gibson guitars and Pearl drums because they want the best.
Right.
So that was my first drum affiliation, was Pearl. Like, because the logo was there. Same thing with Gibson. It was my first guitar affiliation too. Like, I knew Gibson before I knew Fender, because of seeing those logos on the back of Kiss Alive.
Right.
So, but when I started playing drums, all my influences were Tama players, basically.
Yeah.
You know, if they weren't people from the 60s and 70s like Ginger Baker, Carmine, you know, Bonzo, who were playing Ludwig, you know, I knew I didn't want to play Ludwig because nobody wanted to play Ludwig in the early 80s. Right. It just, you know.
Eric Carr. Well, Eric Carr, right?
Once again, maybe that check was signed. But,
right. Well,
but
right.
You know what I'm saying? Their quality wasn't so hot back then.
Yeah.
Stellar now, but
still,
they went through a period. So anyways, all my favorite drummers at the time, going back to what we were talking about, Stewart, getting into Iron Maiden with Clyde Burr, Neil Peart, they were all Tama players. And then the other guys I was finding out about, Simon Phillips, Billy Cobham, they were all Tama players too.
Right, that's right.
So once I started getting the Tama catalogs, that's when I started going down the wormhole of the Tama drummers. And that's how I became familiar with Billy Cobham and Simon and Lenny White and Bill Bruford and all those great guys that were playing Tama way back in the day.
Yeah.
So when it was time to buy like real drums, I got a Tama Swing Star kit like in 1982. Like, maybe like, I think it was 8th grade. I had like a mismatch kit, but I had saved up to buy this 5-piece Swing Star kit, and they were the old Swing Stars, and it was right before Tama changed the lug to like the square lug. So mine were old, so they had like the Ludwig looking lug, which I thought was cool, which then translates later down the line because Dave Lombardo was playing those same kind of Ludwig lugs, Swing Stars too, like in the first 2 records with Slayer. So anyway, I played on that, and then I added another bass drum, and I got toms for it. But like when it came time to buy a full, like when I had saved up enough money, like 16, 17, and my mom let me borrow money, and I knew I was going to buy a top line kit, but I was going to buy a top line double bass kit. It was either between the Thomas Superstar kit that I bought, which is 10, 12, 13, 14 power toms. Nice.
Yeah, right.
2 22s, 16, 18 floors, and a metal snare drum, King Beat snare drum. Okay. It was either that or, and what the deal was at the time is I used to work for what was the best locally owned music store in this area, which used to be called Drone Sound. And it was just like a mecca in the 70s and 80s. And it's where we spent all our middle school years, our high school years. Every single weekend, we just went there and hung out. And I miss those days tremendously, just hanging out in the drum store.
Yeah.
So anyways, at the time I was working there. So once a year, you got to do a big employee purchase. And what that allowed you to do is like get some big ticket item and they'd sell it to you for cost plus 10%. So at the time, I wanted that giant kit, and it was either going to be I had my eye on like a Pearl. I think it was like a BLX. It was same configuration, Pearl birch shells, but it was used, and it was like $1,900. Now, for me to buy the new Tama kit with my discount, and there's the thing at the store, they didn't give you the giant discount off a used drum set, but if you bought a new one, they gave you cost plus 10%. When we ran the numbers and did the math on the Tama kit, the brand new Tama kit cost plus 10% was like $2,200. So my mother was like, no, let's spend more money and get the new drum set.
Yeah.
So that was where the pivotal turn was, which one do I play, Pearl or Tama? So
really, that was it.
Yeah. So it just ended up being that was the trajectory. And then I'm glad it did, because then, that's when we got into the holy trinity of thrash. And like we were talking about, Lars, Charlie, and Dave, because they were all Tama players. So that's what I played for years. I became an endorser in 2002. I stayed until 2013.
Okay. When we talked about this earlier, a lot of
and then drummers, I went to play the best drums in the freaking world.
Yes.
I never thought those words were ever going to come out of my mouth. I never thought in a million years, after playing Tama for 2+ decades, that I'd go to Pearl. I'm like, whatever. I don't even know if I like those drums. Best fucking drums I've ever had in my life. Every kit that they build me, I'm like, Jesus. I have two right here that are like, well, this one's great, and that one that's sitting right over there is great too, and then the one that's in cases over there is great, and so I'm very fortunate.
I just played a Birch Masters kit that I loved, man. I had one of those backlined a couple weeks ago in Cali, and
exactly what that's exactly what my normal kit is.
I was going to ask you about that,
man. Masterworks. Yeah.
Okay, very gorgeous, man. When you started playing with Pearl, and you've already established yourself as like one of the, you're on the Mount Rushmore of double bass drummers, right? So you get a chance.
I'm in the parking lot. I don't know if I'm on the mountain. I'm in the parking lot though.
Man, well, so we've talked a little bit about we talked about generations, right? So you had those early generations where you talked about holy trinity of the formative rock drummers, and then the most recent guys. I would think that as far as like metal guys go, who do you feel like are your contemporaries? That because you're also very humble. I love that, right? So you're not patting yourself on the back, but as far as contemporaries go, like guys like Gene Hoglan,
a lot of guys that are way better players than I am. That's why.
No, man, but who's better? You can't say better, man. It's just different, right? So.
Multifaceted.
I think I've heard you mention Gene Hoglan as being somebody that you borrow references from and you really admire and respect. You've got the guys like Lombardo, who I think you become friends with.
Gene fell into. Gene gets misrepresented, I think, sometimes in the history lines, because Gene Hoglan was around like in the 2000s strapping on Latin. No, fucking Gene Hoglan was around in the 80s with Dark Angel. Gene Hoglan was freaking Dave Lombardo's roadie.
Right.
Like, Gene was just as influential in my upbringing as Dave and Charlie and those guys. He just came later on, even though I was already familiar. So this is the thing. I was already familiar with him and his drumming in Dark Angel. And there's one album in particular, Time Does Not Heal, that I really, really loved the drumming on. I used to know a good handful of the songs when I was 19, 20 years old. So that's how I knew Gene. But then once Gene joined Death, I was like, oh shit, it's the guy from Dark Angel, and he's a great drummer, and I love Death. And Sean Reinhardt left some really big shoes to fill, and Gene was the perfect guy to come in and play on those next two Death records that would be legendary albums that are still talked about and played out to this day. It's just I had already been in that whole thrash element, and Gene came later when I was more into like when then I started getting into other players like him and Sean Reiner and Pete Sandoval from Morbid Angel and some of the extreme guys, because still I was still a thrash metal drummer, but I was a huge Morbid Angel fan. And
Sure.
you know, I was those beats were at first I was like, that sounds like a lot of noise, but then it's like, wow, I want to do that too. But it still wasn't just like the path I went down. But still very instrumental in the heavier side of my playing. And
You
then it goes down the line. Then as the generations, go down, music changed. So I started going back and listening to older guys and just old bands. Like when we went through like the new metal phase and stuff like that, there really wasn't much happening. And I still was looking for, the next double bass guy. Like, unless you were listening to extreme metal and stuff like that. But like, really, once that whole realm hit, I started hanging out with and becoming friends with guys like Derek Roddy and Flo Monnier and George Colius and these, just incredible guys that not only can play 280, 300 BPM death metal, they can also play jazz like it's nobody's business, and they can also play other styles of music, and they're not just a one-trick pony. And that's the beauty of it. It's one thing just to play fast just for the sake of playing fast. Does your music call for it? Okay, cool. If it doesn't, then it's just a barrage of notes.
Yeah. Yeah, but there are, guys like right now, I know that, Garrison Crouton, right? That guy, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
He is amazing.
Unreal.
He's one of the, when I see Grayson, he's the future of drumming, and
Yeah.
he's a freaking amazing kid. He's a nice guy. He's so down to earth, and he can fucking swing like Buddy. And it's amazing to see someone that young who can play like that. And it just shows to me that he's got to be an old soul.
Right. Have you met him?
Yes, we we were talking to each other back on when I was still in Overkill. Had been talking to each other back and forth on Instagram. We had become friends.
Okay.
And I said, we got to, and plus I know his band Sepultura very well, just because I'm friends with Andreas and Paulo and
Sure.
Derek, and I knew Eloy very well. So we were going to be down in South America, and I think we were overlapping by we were crisscrossing by like a day on a couple different festivals where we were just missing each other. Like he was playing the day that we were getting in. So we never got a chance to see each other, but we had a day where he was just coming back from the show when I was already there because we were playing the next day. So I had said, hey, we're down in the restaurant eating. So when you get back, come down and meet me down here. So it just so happened, like right as we were getting our check and about to leave, he came in with a couple of the crew guys. And then we just sat in the restaurant and talked for like a half an hour, just, shooting the shit and stuff. And it was like, it's like, oh, you're great, man. Oh, you're great. Oh, like when we get home, we got to do a Skype lesson. I'm like, he's like, you got to show me how to play double bass better. I'm like, well, you got to show me how to swing better. So it was definitely a half an hour, man, bro, love conversation for sure.
Those,
But great drummer, great dude.
I mean, those experiences, and you talk about filling shoes too. I mean, those sound a little bit like your first interaction with Charlie, right? So like there's the new up and coming guy. Charlie had been established. You were the young and up and coming double bass guy who was a huge fan of Charlie, but then he kind of brought you under his wing, right? And I love the concept and the story behind, your eventual kind of helping him out, filling in.
Well, yeah, but still, I still started as the could have been semi-annoying stalker fan. So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, but the fact that he saw through that, I mean, it's your reverence for music, man. It's cool to see that.
Somehow he was able to know I wasn't some weirdo.
You mentioned that there was a point in his life he had, an opportunity with his family to expand his family a little bit, and that's how you started playing with Anthrax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When his daughter Mia was being born, she came a little earlier than planned. and they were finishing up, oddly finishing up their reunion tour when they got back together with the Among the Living lineup with Joey Belladonna and Dan Spitz on guitar.
And John,
And
yeah.
oddly enough, I was up in California doing some drum clinics when Jimmy DeGrasso used to have a shop up in San Jose.
Right.
And San Jose Pro Drum. And I was up there doing a clinic, and I was ironically staying with John Deddy at the time, who would end up replacing me as Anthrax fill-in many, many years later.
Okay.
And all of a sudden my phone rings and it's Scotty, and it's like on a, it's like a couple days before NAMM, because the idea was go up to San Jose, do the clinic, go down to San Diego, hang out for a couple days, and then go to NAMM. So I knew Anthrax was going to be playing at the Avalon in LA while NAMM was going on. So I was like, oh, I want to see this. It's like, Joey back in the band. I'm like, and I'm trying to formulate. I'm like, oh, and I got to get down there from Anaheim. And it take like 2 hours. And I just, the drive. It's 15 miles away, but it's going to take 6 days to get there.
Right. Yeah. So, you're not Ubering, that's for sure, man.
Right. So like, I'm thinking about how the hell am I going to get to this show? So anyway, so it's not even NAMM yet. It's like a day before NAMM starts. And I look, I'm in the shower. My wife comes in. She goes, hey, your phone's going off. It says S. Ian on it. I'm like, oh, hand me the phone. And I pick up the phone. It's Scott. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he goes, hey, has Charlie called you yet? And I'm like, no, why? And he goes, and as soon as he said, I go, uh-oh, something's up. And he goes, I go, let me guess. I said, something's going on. He's got to go back to Chicago, and you want me to fill in for the LA show. And he goes, no, something's happened. He's got to go back to Chicago. We want you to fill in for the last 2 shows. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, that's different.
Nice.
So now I'm like, I'm going to be in it. What happened in the shower? So I'm going through the song. Now I'm going through the songs in my head. So literally I'm like, how are we going to fucking do this? Because you guys are on tour. Like, they were literally coming to the West Coast. I'm going to NAMM. And that was back in the day when my days at NAMM weren't just me walking around. I had like signing here, signing there. This is that's scheduled for this. This isn't just me there and effing around.
Right.
So Scott goes, well, what are your commitments at NAMM? I said, well, I have to be there for, something for Wednesday. Thursday, I can get out by, the shows were Friday and Saturday. The show was Friday in San Francisco and then Saturday in LA.
Okay.
So Scott and Frankie flew there, and they were coming from Denver. I think they had to cancel a show in Denver because Charlie had to leave to get to the hospital or whatever. I don't remember the exact details. So they missed one show. And then Scott and Frankie flew to Anaheim. They met up with me the Thursday after I got done with my commitments. We went to a rehearsal place. The 3 of us went through the set, taught me the live endings and all that stuff. We went through the set, went through anything that might have had some hiccups or anything, if there was anything. And then the next day, we flew to San Francisco. And we played the show at the Pound. We got on the bus, and then we went to LA and played the show in LA. And there you have it.
Okay, so let me ask you this, and you can be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Benante, obviously, big shoes to fill. You're a smoking drummer. There are people that expect the originals to show up, right? So did you have to deal a little bit with any drummers coming in and saying, dude, of course you're a great drummer, but man, Charlie's my dude.
You know what? I did not get that on these 2 shows because it happened so quickly, and also happened before the days of social media where people knew the day that you weren't going to fucking be there.
Right.
That's the also good thing. By the time people found out Charlie wasn't there, these shows were over.
Right.
They were done.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mayhem in 2012, though, that's when I got, you're not him. Oh, he's not here. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm not him.
Right.
But you know something? The band obviously thinks that I do a decent enough job where they put me in the chair behind them. So
there you go. That's it,
all
man.
I can tell you.
Yeah, I was talking to Brad Gillis about this, right? When he got the last minute call to come in and fill in when Randy Rhoads passes away, and he's got to go up play with Ozzy. And it's an age old story, but hearing it from him, talking about how yeah, people are like, flipping him off and throwing stuff at him on stage. They got signs up there saying, you're not Randy Rhoads. And he's like trying to pay attention to everybody else except those people in the crowd, and focusing on his job. And, I mean,
Yeah,
just the fact that he could get in the
tough.
room and be that guy, it's amazing. Right. But we're in a different state now. I mean, right
We
now,
are.
tons
We
of
are.
drummers
But
they're changing gears. I mean, we hear
But the
about
other thing I wanted to mention that night too was the first show. I had a massive drummer support group that night because that first night in San Francisco was a combination of two shows, which is why we played outside at the Pound in fucking January in San
oh,
Francisco. It was freezing. But they also had the Niles Sworn Enemy, God Forbid show going on inside too. So I had my very dear friend Corey Pierce from God Forbid with me, cheering me on. I had my buddy Paulie from Sworn Enemy cheering me on. I had George Colias cheering me on. So I had a good bunch of friends there that night. Pat in the back, kick
yeah.
ass, don't fuck up.
Yeah, totally.
That's the
There's
term of endearment. I'll take that as it's coming from certain people. I'm expecting them to say that to me. So
yeah.
it was a good thing.
Well, I mean, that was 2012. You said.
No, the first time was 2006.
Oh my God! Wow, it's almost 20
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
So
It
I
was
mean,
two
you
thousand.
were
It was two. I did the reunion shows in the top of 2006. I played again with them in 2008 in South America,
okay.
and then 2012 was Mayhem, and then
Okay.
there was a Canadian tour after that, and that's the last time I did shows them, except for I almost did one last fill-in show, like maybe like 3 years ago. Charlie hurt his back, and he called me, and then it was like at that point I hadn't played the stuff too, like in like 10 years, and I'm like, wait a minute, now you're what?
It's no
So,
longer muscle memory.
well,
Yeah.
well, it would. Well, it was also too after For All Kings came out, so I would have had to learn two songs in a day because
Yeah.
they weren't. That album wasn't out yet. I was familiar with the songs, but I just didn't know them on drums. I'm like, all right, I learned two songs now in one day if I'm going to do this. But it turned out that I didn't have to go do the show. He soldiered on and made it through. Fortunately, it was only a one-off, but just one of those things where lifted up a box, hurt his back, and he's like, "Ah, oh, it's like the show's like 5 days from now." I'm like, "You'll be fine, you'll be fine." But in the meantime, let me go learn this.
Right, just in case, man. That's have you had any situations like that where you've actually had to have somebody come in and sub for you when you
Yeah, sadly, it
yeah?
was right after I stopped playing in Anthrax. Um, the tour that I went to as soon as I was done with Anthrax, I went right out on a 4-week tour with Shadows Fall and God Forbid, and that's where pancreatitis started coming in and sidelined me. I actually think it started coming in during the Mayhem tour because I started feeling like kind of weird towards the last few weeks of that. But then came down with pancreatitis, and that's when I stopped drinking and everything. But that happened right then. We had another tour booked, but I was on doctor's orders to stay off the road for a month. But
Ooh.
they had a tour, so what we did was we had one of the drummers. I joke around. I joke around saying that we say, "Oh, it took two drummers to fill in for me," but it was only because it was done really quickly because it had to be done like I didn't know if I was going to be able to tour or not. So we were playing this waiting game. And once it was like, no, we can't go, they were under the gun. So what we did was we took my buddy Willis, who was my tech at the time, who was also a really good drummer too. He took the majority of the set,
Okay.
like maybe like 8 songs. But then like the guy from the opening band, Jay from Will Be Done, he took like 6 of the songs so they could do the full headline show and not have to, neither one of them have to learn the whole thing. So,
all right, here's
but that was the only time where in my career, like where I had to be subbed out for whatever reason or another.
yeah, man. Well, that's it. Knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Right?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive actually to only have that for one.
Yeah, right. I mean, are you a sports fan?
Yeah.
NFL?
Yesterday was an easy day because my team didn't play. Because we're winners.
All right. So you're not a Giants fan. You're not an Eagles fan. I know you're upstate New York. So Buffalo.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
your Buffalo. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Your Bills. Yeah, they're looking.
Yesterday was a day just to go like this and taunt my friends who have the losing teams.
Yes, man. Well, I bring up NFL just because, like having a starter that's so consistent that has never had to miss a game or never miss a start, right? And when you're beating the crap out of each other, I would equate playing drums in a band to be very similar to playing quarterback, in a metal band.
100% agree with you.
Yeah, you got precision. You're getting your ass kicked a little bit physically, right? You got a lot of guys trying to tackle you, but um, and congrats on your Bills, by the way. They're looking unstoppable right now, but
So
we'll
far, but
see.
it's early in the season, so I don't want to get ahead of myself like I do with baseball with the Yankees, because
Yeah, yeah.
look at
We
where
we
we
see
are right now.
we see.
So,
So all right. So if we think about if you were going to if you were sidelined from category 7, right? We got a little bit of a break, and a band needs a sub for, and Jason Bittner's available and at the willing. What's a band that you would love to be playing drums for right now besides Pantera?
with my schedule looking pretty open for next year, anybody who needs a drummer and
Oh,
wants to pay good.
well, yeah. I know that you want to do the Lost 80s live backing band.
I absolutely do.
Dude, be careful what you wish for. I'm just telling you that right
Hey,
now.
I'm
But
telling you. I'm telling
yeah,
you, if we go out next summer, it's all bets are off.
it would be great to tour with you, though. That's the best thing about those tours.
That would
It's
be
like
so
family
much fun.
reunion, and
It's funny that you ask about who would I want to play with, because
yeah,
at this point in time, I really don't know, to be honest with you, because here's the thing. A lot of my favorite bands are either broken up, or they're done or retired, or, I mean, come on.
that's why you
Would I
started
want
your
to
own.
man the big red drum set and play with those two? Of course I would.
Yeah, of
Would I want to
course.
do it in a public place? Of course I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I want to do it
right.
in private, so all the Rush fans cannot say anything about it.
Oh, buddy, you know what? No matter how good you were at even emulating parts or coming up with your own thing,
Wouldn't
you would be
matter.
skewered. You would be skewered
Absolutely.
because rightfully
Absolutely.
so. Well, okay, so I'm going to tell you, when Josh Freese was announced as Foo Fighters drummer, there's a drummer in Portland that called me up, and he'd been out of the scene for a while, and he's like, "Dude, what's up with them getting this guy, like some no-name guy that has no pedigree?" I'm like, "You're talking about Josh Freese? What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, man, there's meters all over the place." And I'm like, "Are you messing with me, dude?
Was he
Are you
listening
like?"
with ears?
I don't think so. I really don't. And then obviously everybody's an armchair quarterback, so drummers are opinionated.
Yep.
But this last year, we've seen a lot of guys change gears. From you talked about Eloy Casagrande, getting his gig, and with
But the
Josh Freese,
funniness is that what about the funniness though of the guys that are just switching bands,
right?
like
Nine Inch Nails and Foos,
Reese,
right?
Alien Rubin? All right, now we're just switching.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Grayson replaces Eloy. Eloy goes to Slipknot, where Jay goes to Suicidal Tendencies, where Grayson used to be.
right.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah. No,
What?
so you have to wonder, right? I mean, like, I've had a lot of conversations with guys about the Josh Freese thing, and I've met Josh. He was doing the Devo gig when I was playing way back in the day with Animotion, right? And so, uh, super cool hang, man. He was a very laid back guy, very meticulous about his parts, and he obviously has chops for days and incredible meter. So, there was that conversation. There was the Matt Cameron conversation. Amazing with Soundgarden. He filled an interesting part with Pearl Jam, I thought.
And I just read what he just said about another reason why he left was because he didn't want to start playing 3.5 hour fucking shows. I
Right.
get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Right. I was
He's
going to
like,
ask
at
you
this
about
point
that.
in my life, I want to play 70 minutes and get in there and kill it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And in that particular example, what he's doing right now, I don't know if you know about his band, but he's got a Wipers tribute called "Is This Real?" with his drummer. He runs the drum shop in Seattle, and incredible drummer with one of my favorite bands, Walking Papers. But they do kill it, and it's a pretty obscure tribute that they're doing. They go out and they do like a 70-minute tribute. And he goes from playing Pearl Jam for 3.5 hours to maybe a gig every 4 months, right? Where he's just doing this tribute gig and hanging out with his family, right?
Yeah.
But who
right?
knows what really happens, right? I mean, that's what I was going to ask you about. I mean, what's the deal? What do you think? Why do you think Josh Freese is no longer at Foo Fighters?
Look, I know Grohl. I know
Yeah,
Dave Grohl. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know him like he's my
sure.
best friend, but I did a record at his studio and I spent 2 months there with him. I know him well
Yeah,
enough, you
yeah.
know.
And
And the last time I saw him after not seeing him for 10 years, I'm like, hey, do you remember me? He's like, of course I do. You guys put a Jägermeister machine in my studio.
nice.
So I have no idea, dude. When you fire the human drum machine, I don't know what the F you're
Right.
looking for. I really
Yeah.
don't.
It's got to be
You
personality.
know what I
Yeah.
would have thought? You know what I think would have been cool is to see William Goldsmith come
Oh,
back.
right. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's an appropriate chapter in the story.
Throw him a
Right.
bone. Throw him a bone. Hey, we became huge. You missed all of
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know, but you know what? There has been a lot of drummer uh shifting this year, and like I don't know if it was the planetary shifts or whatnot. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's
Like,
strange.
so, I mean, you and I both know that so much goes into this, right? I mean, there are a million guys out there that have chops. So much of it is about personality connection, right? And people that are maybe watching this that aren't in bands.
It's more so
Yeah.
that I mean, I don't care how good you are. If you're an asshole on
Yeah.
the bus, no one wants to be
And that's not
around
to
you.
say that Josh or any of these guys are assholes at all, right? But that's
No, 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 no. I'm
but
not
there
saying
is
that for
it's
him. I mean
chemistry though, right?
anybody.
So if you're in a band and
Yeah.
it's like one thing to have a relationship, a romantic relationship where your partner, you've got to do some compromise. But if you've got 4 or 5 people in a band with you and you're dealing with, like every peripheral thing on the under the sun, to challenge you with stress on a daily basis, it's really hard to have simpatico, right? So
I just
no, I was just gonna
good.
say, I mean, so with those kind of things in mind, that's usually what people will come to me and they'll say, "It had to be personality thing," right? Like Matt Cameron and, Vetter, but who knows? Our mutual friend had saw your post about this podcast tomorrow or today, and he said, "Hey, man, I'll be there." And
Right.
we all know what
Right.
happened with Dave,
I
right? So,
was
Dave, if you're
right.
watching, man, feel free to chime in on what your
Hi,
opinion
Dave.
is, but, he and I have had a lot of conversations about this in the past, and I got to know him very well long before all that stuff went down. And he changed my life, man. The way that he treated me and the way that he sort of brought me under his wing and exhibited kindness to me changed everything about the way that I interact with people musically. So um,
Great.
I look at that and
You remember the people that you meet when they're nice to you, but you really remember the people you meet when they're not
uh-huh,
nice to
man.
you.
You had anybody back in the day that may have steered you away from ever loving that band anymore? Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to name names, but you tell me about the experience.
I'm not. I'm not gonna name names because then they'll just take the headline and
Yeah,
run
is it
with it. I'll give
yeah.
you a hint. They're doing a residency in Vegas right now, and the band name
Yeah,
is
yeah,
Crew.
got it. Um, that's a
That
bummer.
guy, not once but
Nah, drag.
twice,
Yeah,
twice. And I always thought that dude was gonna be the coolest guy ever.
yeah.
Nope. So that's all I'm gonna say
You
on
know,
that.
I had an experience early on around the time that I met with Dave with another huge prominent Seattle band, and I was not feeling the vibe at all. Really, he was kind of a dick to me, and I talked to Dave about it, and he said, "Hey, man, you've got to remember that on any given day, that dude may have been cut off in traffic on the way there, or he may have had some stuff going on in his family that he's not going to divulge." And it really helped
Absolutely.
me because I held the grudge for a little bit about this guy that was an asshole. But if you
But
twice
I'm gonna
yeah.
piggyback this on what you just said, Kevin, because I've had people for you're an asshole to me. Okay, that's
Mm.
fine. I may have been. Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. Well, I was coming to the bus and I was looking for Brian, and I already know right then and there. First of all, you're not looking for me. You're looking for my singer.
Yeah.
That's in my head already. You want
Yeah.
nothing to do with me. You want to talk to the singer. And what happened? Well, you were on your phone and you were turned away, and I tapped you on the back, and you turned around and you kind of yelled at me. Motherfucker, you just interrupted me. What the fuck do you expect me to do? You don't
Right.
want to talk to me. If you tapped me on the back and said, dude, you're my favorite drummer in the world, I would have said, sorry, honey, I got to go, or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And then sign your thing. But when you tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, man, where's Brian at? Or where's Blitz at? Or wherever, whatever band member that's not me, where are
Yeah.
they at? Why do you think you got the response
Right.
you did?
Did you tell him that?
Yes, I
Good, man. It's
did.
important. Yeah,
Because
it's good.
because
Yeah.
because I've sort of done this, like, all right, I've done, you know, you do self-assessments on yourself over time and you go, oh, you know, well, when I was partying more, was I an asshole on tour? I hope not, or blah, blah. If I had an altercation, you know, when you hear things and if you come across people again, I've just tried to spend my life where instead of going, well, F that guy, who cares what happened 15 years ago? I don't give a shit. You
Yeah.
know, instead, I've tried to be like, all right, well, tell me what happened. Give me a chance to redeem myself, or at least give me a chance to explain why maybe I might not have been cool to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when
You know,
I get a story like that told to me, it's like, and then I go, well, dude, do you understand why I reacted like that? Well, yeah, that was kind of stupid of me to do.
there you go. That
But I
teachable
was drunk
moment.
and I was young and stupid. Right. You know what? And I was younger and stupid too. So
Yeah.
you can admit
Good.
it. I can admit it. Let's shake hands and forget that the first meeting ever even happened.
I love it, man. You mentioned that maybe, and when the first thing that went through your mind is that you were, you know, in your partying days, you might have been an asshole. Did you have a phase where you, were you, mean drunk, Jason Bittner?
No, I did
No.
not. If not on purpose, and if that
Yeah.
happened, it would be it would be rarely. But no. But I'm just saying, when you drink and you say stupid shit, you
Yeah.
do stupid shit. You
Of
say
course.
things out loud that maybe you might not say out loud.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No. And you may not remember any of that,
but you know what?
you
I'm
know.
going to tell you a lot of the
Yeah.
time too, and a lot of times when people say, "Well, you just looked angry." You know why I looked angry? This is why. Because I've been waiting all night to come back to my bus. I'm not drinking right now.
Yeah.
Been waiting all night to come back to my bus. It's bus call. I come back. I open the door, and it's still packed full of fucking people. And I have all my shit in my hands. Dirty stage clothes, this bag. You know what
Yeah.
it's like to be a drummer. And you're
Totally.
trying to walk through the front lounge like this through a dance floor, basically. Excuse
Yeah.
me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. When you have to say excuse me in your own living room,
Right.
and everybody doesn't stop the party to let you in. And it's shit.
Amen.
And those were the times that would set me off,
Yeah. You
because, you
bet.
know, so whatever, blah, blah. Oh, well, that one time, well, I met you the one time you came on the bus, you had all your stuff, and you're just kind of like an asshole. Yeah, because it was bus calling. All you fucking people were supposed to be gone.
Right. Oh God, man. You
So,
know,
so you know what I mean? Like
I do.
there's a time and place to be an asshole, and sometimes you got to be an asshole.
For sure.
That's
You
the
know,
headline. That's
you
tomorrow's.
no, you got
That's
it, man.
tomorrow's headline.
Yeah, you got it, blabbermouth. He just served it
There's
up
a
to you right
time.
there, man.
There's a time. Jason Bittner says there's a time and place to be an asshole.
There you go. That's it. If it's not blabbermouth, it'll be, you know, like metal sludge, right? So, um, you know what, man? When you talked about carrying all your gear back and getting back in the bus and everybody's in your way, you know how many amazing opportunities I've missed because I'm doing the little pack up shit at the very end of the night. Everybody else has got a drink in hand. They're all going off and hanging with whoever. And I'll get back and they'll go, "Oh man, you know, you just missed
You
XYZ
just
person."
missed, yeah.
Totally. Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, nice, man.
Really?
Well, if you had
Four,
helped
four of
me."
you guys, and nobody could text me and let me know this was go. Thanks.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Yeah. Um, early childhood heroes, man. I mean, you talked about the legacy people, but when you mentioned being a big fan of Charlie and he was just cooler than you might expect and really brought you under his wing, were there any musicians that you met like that early on that were like influential that you said, okay, I was already a big fan, I met him, and that made me want to become a rock star that much more?
Yeah, definitely. Neil definitely tops the list of that. Neil was just such an
Yeah.
awesome person, period. I mean, he was a
Yeah.
great human being. And he was
And you had
definitely someone.
conversations with him.
Huh?
You
What's
had
that?
conversations with him.
Yes, I did.
You had Oh, yeah, man. So what does a conversation with Neil Peart look like to you?
I can remember every time that I was in a room with him, because it absorbed all of my energy just to be there and go, holy shit, this isn't a dream.
Yeah.
Um, it was great. And as I got to know him better and we got to know each other better, he opened up more, and it was just very surreal for me to get the joking Neil Peart, just after being a fan for so many years, and just the guy that you see on that, what you portray from, what you see in pictures and what you think he is. And then once you become friends with him, and he had this dry humor, and he was fucking funny. Just some of the shit that he said, it was just in the way, it was just his delivery was timeless. Just I got to be friends with my hero, so that was pretty cool.
That's a
Definitely pretty
beautiful
cool.
thing, man. Uh,
Him,
yeah,
Rob Morgenstein, he's another one.
amazing.
Because not only it's a thing to meet your idols, and when they're not good people, then that's tough for them to still be someone. Then you still go, shit, I looked up to this person for how many years, and this person really isn't a really good person. So I've been really fortunate, with finding good heroes, and good that became mentors as well. Like I said, Rod was one of those guys too.
You and
Um,
right when you mentioned that, it's great that I can see that Mr. Mike Mangini jumped over here on Instagram. What's up, Mike? Glad to
Hi,
see you
Michael.
here. Yes, uh, when I had Rod on the show a couple months ago, he had amazing stories about Neil that way too. It was really interesting to hear, like, that there was a level that very few people got to if they weren't in a band with him, right? If it wasn't Geddy and Alex, very few people got to break through the other side, man. So
Yep.
I think you recognize the fact that you were one
Yep.
of the very few.
Yeah, it was crazy. Diamond Vinny, they
Yeah,
were just just great people. Aside from being musical legends, they were great people, and
you
they,
bet.
you know, would give you the shirt off their backs. Dom Famularo, he was another one who just, and they just had the tribute yesterday for him in New York at the Cutting Room.
Really? Oh man, I didn't
Yeah,
hear about it.
I've known Dom since the early '80s. Just seen him do clinics in Long Island and up here. But he was someone too. If you couldn't be inspired by that man,
Musically and
then
otherwise,
you're pretty
right? I mean,
much
what?
you're dead. I,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
not just musically, but just an
yeah.
incredible soul too, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
As a person, this is what we're talking about. This, not only as a drummer, but as people.
yeah.
Dom was the tops of the list. Steve Smith, he's another one.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
He's another one.
Yeah, man.
Dear
Here's
friend, great, just a great person. Has gone above and beyond for me many times, giving me free lessons. Just
I was gonna ask if you
great.
study with Steve, because a lot of good
Yeah,
friends
I've
have.
I've I've sat down with him a couple times. We've done a couple afternoons at the collective in New York
Okay.
over 10, 15 years ago. But yeah,
Okay, here's my perspective on something like that. He's the upper echelon, right? He's like this guy that's been studied and replicated or
it's like
attempted to
sitting in a room
replicate.
with Gandhi, like on
Right.
drums.
So,
Yeah,
but
it really is.
if no matter what talent and skill you might have, how do you sit down with somebody like Steve Smith and say, I want to improve on this technique, or I want, show me what you did on this groove, or what does the conversation look like with you and Steve to learn some parts?
Because what I did with Steve will always ask you, "What are you working on now? What are you working on now?"
Yeah.
And fortunately, at that time, I had something I was working on. If he asked me right now, I go, "Oh, I'm playing a lot of cover songs for a bunch of gigs that I'm working right now." But
Yeah.
what are you working on? Being other drummers right now. But what are you
Right.
working on? I know what you're getting at. Nothing is the answer. I
Yeah.
know I should be practicing more. So,
Well, but
so
that
he's
does
always go,
it
"What are
does
you working on?" So that's how it would start. I'd either
okay.
show him, "Hey, I'm working on this for a song," or I just came up with this kind of groove or something. And it was always something. He's such a student of the drums. It doesn't matter that I'm a quote unquote metal drummer. If I'm doing something dexterous with my feet, he's interested, especially if it's something that he hasn't seen or whatever. So I asked him something. All right, no, I started playing this groove, Tomcat, which is off one of the Vital Information records, and he's like, "That's almost it." I'm like, I'll take almost.
Right, yeah.
So it started with that. Well, then show me what it is. So then he showed me what it really was. I'm like, "Is this the felt thing?" He's like, "Yep, that's it." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So then then it went into, what are you working on? So at the time, I was doing this thing where I said to myself, I was formulating something for a solo for probably a clinic or a drum festival or something, because we're talking 2008, 2010 era, and like every year there was something, whether it was PASIC or MD Fest or Drum Fest or UK Drum. There was always something happening that I had something to prepare for. So I was working on this thing in my solo where it was just something stupid. I was just playing like time, like swing time, ding, 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 and I just played a figure with my snare, but then I played it underneath with the kicks too. So then it turned into this. So it was just kind of like this. It's like 1 and 2 and 3, but if you don't play it straight time, like I'm not
Out come the sticks. Here we go, baby.
I know I'm not really at the drums, but
love it.
But the the figure was this. Gotta move my snacks off the snare drum. So I took that, and I matched my feet with it. So then it became. So then it became this. So I thought that was a cool little jazz figure.
Hell yes.
Right? So,
yeah, absolutely. Your kit is the whole kit is just set up just off camera there?
Yeah, right there.
Look at that, man. Oh, that's great. Nice, man. Okay.
Now I'm building the other 3-tom version in the back there.
Love it. And I'm really loving the blue highlight, the blue felts too, man. That's sweet.
So, thank you. So I had that, and I thought that would be cool. And he's like, wait a minute. What did you just do there? So I played it for him, but I played it slower.
Yeah.
So then I played it again. And he's like, play that slower. So then I did it again. So, oh, all right. And that's it. He didn't say anything else after that.
Uh-huh.
So the next day, my friend Tony, who is the director of the collective, calls me and he goes, what the hell did you do to Steve Smith yesterday? I go, why? What do you say that? Because, dude, every time I walk by his room, he's been in there for like 3 hours. I just hear this slamming double bass thing he keeps playing over and over again. I go, that's the thing I showed him yesterday.
Hell yes, man. That is, isn't it that cool, man? Somebody at that level, right?
Right. So listen to this. So maybe and this was payback for him giving me this lesson at the collective. Like he sat with me for like 3 hours at the collective. So I'm like, I gotta give you something. And he's like, just get me some wine next time I come and play, when I'm in your town. I'm like, all right. So I knew we were going to be seeing him shortly. He was playing a show in Utica, which is like an hour away from us. So we went out to the small jazz club to see him play. And I got him three nice bottles of Italian wine from this province that he likes. And I brought it up and I put it on the stage before he started the show. So he's got the wine by his kit. He's got the wine by his kit. And we're front row. And there's 50, 60 people in the small jazz club. And it's packed. And we're front row. And we're playing. And we're literally sitting on top of the hi-hat. And he just totally starts playing. And then he just looks over at me and starts going, He's playing it
No.
like twice as fast as I was playing it.
Oh
And
my
he's just
God.
looking over at me with this sly grin on his face. And I'm tapping my lap. I'm going, that's the thing I showed him.
Oh, yes, man. That I love it. You know, that's humility too. I've never met Steve, but I know a lot of guys that studied with him for a long time, man. He said he is like the sweet uncle that you wish you had,
Just
right?
crushing it on the drums though. And then
Yeah.
we did a playthrough, we did a play along actually during the pandemic. That was just a shitload of fun.
The two of you.
Leaving on the nine. It's a whole thing like in 9/8.
Yeah. No,
And then I did,
just you and Steve together?
yeah, just me and Steve together.
Hell yes,
It's a it's
man.
a it's a duet where we play separately, but we play together as well.
Yeah.
Like he wrote it out off an idea that I gave him, and then he orchestrated the part. I did the same thing with Todd Zuckerman. We did one too, like a samba thing that was really cool.
Right on. That's great, man. Todd's another one that just he seems to want to give back a lot. You know, you see him
Yep.
do so much video online like you do, play along
Yep.
stuff and showing off the kit. His move from Pearl to Sonar was a big surprise to a lot of people, right? Recently. Yeah. I mean,
Oh, oh, oh,
he's talked about it
oh.
a lot, but yeah, man,
We we were driving because since you say that, we were driving home. Oh my God, I think it was from Bubba Bash last year.
oh yeah.
I think we were driving home from Bubba Bash last
Hold
year.
on. Hold on for people that don't know, this is a huge deal, man. Bubba Bash is the Neil Peart
The Neil
basically
Peart
festival.
tribute that is
Yeah.
done every year in Glenside, Pennsylvania.
Right. Okay.
In January 10th this year, I believe.
And emceed by Kathy Rankin, which is a great namesake for sure.
Kathy Rankin, yep. And January 10th this year.
Okay.
So I think we were driving back from Bubba Bash last year, and it was me and my buddy Brian, and he was scrolling through his phone. And he goes, "Uh-oh!" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Todd." I go, "What?" He goes, "His post today," and it was the eve before he announced he was.
Oh yeah.
It was the eve before he announced what drum company was going to be. He's
Right.
like, "I haven't talked about this. This is big news. Blah 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 blah. I'm leaving Pearl," and we're like, "What the proverbial?"
Yeah.
And I'm immediately like, "Beep."
Yep.
Hey, Jason, what the fuck is going on? I immediately called him. I'm like, what is going on? He's like, oh, he goes, long story, because I'm about to get on a plane right now. I go, just tell me where you're going. He goes, you can't say anything. I go, you're going to announce it tomorrow. So who am I going to talk to?
Right.
I said, just tell me
You're gonna call Blabbermouth.
I know exactly. I said, just tell me where you're going. He goes, I'm going back home. And as soon as he said that, I go, you're going back. You're going to Sonar.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, makes sense.
I mean, that does make sense. If anything was going to
For
happen,
him, it does.
It does.
He's a Sonar freak, diehard,
Yep.
loves the drums, always had them before, had them, grew up playing them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's what he said to me. He was like, look, he goes, I want to, this is what I'm going to end up with for the rest of my life. I want to play the forever drum. This is it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it, man.
Yep.
So let's think about forever drums. Favorite. All right. Jason Bittner's favorite drum recording that you've done. Where do you feel like sonically, where the best sounding recording that you've done drum wise?
That's a hard call.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to, ironically, the Shadows Fall War Within turned 21 yesterday, and that's like probably my biggest record, but I think that sonically, I don't think it sounds the best. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Zeus. Nothing wrong with the way it sounds, but out of all of them that he's done, I don't think it sonically sounds the best.
Sure.
If I sit here and look at them from a record standpoint, I think the best sounding Shadows Fall stuff really is the stuff that's coming out right now. The last two songs that we released. I mean, and let me explain why I say part of that. The drum sounds that we got in the studio for these recordings are pretty much what you hear on the actual recording. There's not a lot of sound replacement or there's definitely elements added in because it's metal and there always has to be,
Yeah.
But I think it's probably as close to my pure drum tone as possible.
Okay.
So I'm pretty happy about that. But Fire from the Sky came out really good. War Within still a great one. Retribution sounds really good too.
Okay, so here,
The Flotsam and Jetsam record. I'm looking at the records now. The Flotsam and
yeah,
Jetsam record I did with Chris Collier. That sounds really good too. The separation is good. The drums sound great. The band sounds great. It comes down more than just like what the drum sound.
I'm glad you brought up separation. That's an important thing, man, because this
Yeah,
stuff gets mushy.
you're a band. You should hear
Yeah,
everybody. I mean, I don't want the record to sound like fucking Injustice for All. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah. Oh, you brought it up, man. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
that the record is so huge, right? Like from song to song, there's so many incredible songs. And if it had been recorded differently, right? If the drums sounded differently, the record would not be the same, but it might sound
dude,
a hell of a lot better.
I don't even hate on the drum sound.
Yeah.
I like that dry. Lars's
Yeah.
snare couldn't be any more tighter. When that
Right.
drum gets hit, that sound's gone. There's no ring. There's no nothing. I
think you
don't
could
mind.
sample what you just did, and it would have worked just the same.
I don't mind the Justice drum sound.
Yeah.
Saint Anger, I don't know about that one, but anyway.
So you're at a party, and Jonna introduces you to her friends. They've never heard Jason Bittner play before, and they say, "Oh, that's cool. My uncle's a drummer. Like he played in a polka band." And she says, "Well, I tell you what, I'm going to send you. I think what best represents Jason's drumming. What would she send? One song."
Oh,
How does someone get to know Jason Bittner on drums if they've
I
never
would
heard
say
before?
I'd say pick the Light That Blinds off
Okay.
the War Within, because
Yeah.
that's really like my Tom Sawyer. It
Yeah.
really is. I mean, it's even got the drum solo section in it at the end that is really, or in the middle of the song, that is Tom Sawyer-esque.
So in that particular song, man,
Not on purpose, it just happens to be.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean, you mean the arrangement wise, that wasn't intended?
Well, we intended for a drum like
A break.
solo break, but
Yeah.
I didn't intend for it to be, the same cadences.
And when you guys are playing that live, that's the place that everybody says they wait with bated breath to hear what Jason's going to do.
Because Jason always tries to play the part the same, because when Jason started diverting from the actual part, some of Jason's band members started getting this look to him.
Yeah.
Just count.
Yeah.
Why do I have to do the same fill? If you're going to come in at the same spot.
Yeah. Well, you talked about that. I mean, if you remember, right? We talked Legacy last time we talked a week ago, and I asked you what you would.
Sometimes the guys don't like when I try metric modulation live.
Yeah, right. Well, because that means they have to do a little bit of work, right? So, yeah, they just want to snooze right through the record, through the set. No, but
there's so many times when I'm driving and I just want to change to a drop 3,
which is my favorite. I love.
If they're paying attention, this could be fun. If they're not, this is going to be highly embarrassing.
You got some great stuff that way in the Category 7 record.
There's a little bit more room there.
Yeah, and I think after we talked, I've talked to a bunch of friends of mine that are very familiar with the record too, and they're not drummers, so it's really cool to hear their perspective on what you did on the record.
Cool.
But I think we chatted about doing shows with Category 7, right? So you got some stuff coming up this year.
They tell them all to come to South Florida on October 30th, and we'll be at Piper's Pub in Pompano Beach.
You realize that I'm there just days before.
I know. You're there 5 days fucking beforehand. I already looked. I'm like, you're at the Culture Room like 5 days before It's literally 3 days before I get there. We're coming in the 28th.
Oh, yeah, which happens to be my birthday, and I think I'm going to be down there on the 28th. So, yeah, maybe we could sit down and you can say, "Hey, what are you working on?" And I'll say, "Absolutely."
Wait, you are going to be down there still?
I'm still planning on being there the 28th. Yeah, because we're out on the 1st of November, and my girl wanted me to stick around in Florida, avoid the Northwest rains, and stay in Florida.
So does that mean that you might be in town still on the 30th for the show?
You know what? We play.
Just saying.
I might know. You think you might know somebody that I could get on the list and get a discounted ticket anyway?
You might.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
never know.
man.
I
I
could
would
call
love to
some
see
people.
Pompano Beach, man. That would be amazing. You guys
Yeah.
doing rehearsals ahead of time for that down in
Yeah,
Florida?
actually, thankfully, because Derek's still one of my best friends, we're going right to Derek Roddy's and using his place the day before him.
Is he down there?
Yeah, he's in South Florida. Literally where we're playing is about 20 minutes from where he lives. Ironically, my wife and I used to have a unit in their building. So
Really?
we used to live a few doors down from him because we used to have a place down there. But yeah, he's right in Deerfield, and his band Isotrophy's playing with us at Piper's, and we're lucky that they're letting us use their gear and stuff. So we're going to Derek's the day before so we can rehearse
Man.
because we haven't played since June 30th.
Man, I have not met Derek, but saw him play at NAMM years ago, and I was floored. Honestly, man, I hadn't, he was one of the first real speed players that I had seen up front
Mm-hmm.
at NAMM, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, why this stuff doesn't make, it doesn't make any sense to me, right?
But the
And
thing is,
I
it's
was the
like
same thing about your playing.
he's so much more of a player than just that. Like
Sure,
that's just uh,
one facet. Yeah,
exactly. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Well, I mean, like Virgil was that way too, right? When I first saw Donati, and I'm like, oh my God, not only can he play metal, you were talking about Grayson, right? So same kind of thing. It's great to see that
And
those guys.
Virgil was the first dude who I saw really playing like double strokes with his feet. Like
Right,
even before Thomas Lang and the
right,
Marco Minimums, Virgil's the first guy that I saw doing that stuff. And I
yeah,
was like, what the? Where did
right,
this guy come from? Oh, Australia. That makes sense.
right. Yeah, everything's upside down, right,
Yeah.
man. And he's a good hang, right? I mean, it was
Oh,
like
he's
that.
great. He's awesome.
So, man, let's talk community stuff, man. I mean, like that's a really important thing. You would think that it's a competitive market, right? You would think that these guys would be competitive because you work your ass off to
Yep.
get these skills together, and the music business can be what's the word I'm thinking? It's insidious. All right. So, for musicians or
Good
wannabe
word.
musicians out there, when you go on to get into the business, just beware, it can be insidious. And so when I hear about guys like you in that metal community all looking out for each other, throwing each other bones, getting each other gigs, making recommendations, instead of holding the cards so close to the vest and not sharing the wealth. What makes metal drummers so different than other guys in the business?
I think we're a smaller quantity of player. Let's put it that way. There's a limited number of us that can do what we do and do it night after night after night and deliver 110%, especially as we get older. There's one thing to walk the walk. There's another thing to talk the talk.
Sure.
I think also this community is a lot more close knit because, like you said, there's not a lot of work out. There's not a lot of work out there for drummers.
It's
Period.
like crazy. Yeah.
So you're gonna keep your. I think that the idea is most people want to keep working to whatever extent they want to do, whether they want to work 4 months out of the year, 6 months out of the year, 9 months out of the year, whatever their number is that they want to tour or be involved doing their thing. There's other ways of doing that. Right now, if I have to play with 3 bands next year to get in, you know, 4 or 5 months of dates, then maybe that's what has to happen. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's luckily when you play with other bands, especially if band loses a member, if they know, well, hey, we can call so and so or so and so, maybe he won't join the band. But if he's not doing something, maybe at least he can do this tour with us, and we're not going to lose this, and we can still promote the band or whatever. I mean, that's literally how I joined Shadows Fall. I wasn't going to join the band when I first went on the first tour. My
Really?
idea, yeah, my idea was with that. Yeah, because when I did the first tour, the first idea was just to fill in so they could go to Europe for the first time. I had already gone to Europe a few times with my other bands. And I felt for them to build their business and build the band name that, you got to get to Europe.
Yeah.
I had just gotten I had just was getting to the end of my old hardcore band Stigmata. My mom had just passed away. I was just going through a lot of things personally, and it was just not a place. It's not a moment in time where I wanted to just go get in a van and be in a band again. Because at that point, like I said, my mom had just died. She was my best friend. I was working for the state. That's what I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life. And I had just kind of resigned myself to the fact that that was the path that I was now on at 31 years old. So
Yeah.
I was all right with that. Like, I'm like, all right, well, I gave it my best shot, I guess. And then, just as luck have it, I got called again from Shadows Fall by their management. Hey, you want to come down and jam? And I'm like, because when I called the first time, I said no, because I was just like, my headspace is it's not there. I'm going through a lot of shit right now. Thanks, but no thanks. So they called again. I went down. I jammed. It went great. And still, we said, well, I don't know if I want to join a band. So I'll just, and they're like, well, we got this 5 or 4 week tour of Europe coming up. And I said, well, let me see if I can get the time off from work. So I had a shitload of personal time built up. I said, if I can get the time off, I'll just do the tour with you guys. That way you don't lose the tour. And then you can find a, permanent guy once you get back home. We lasted the first hour that we were in the bar before we went to the airport of me filling in. We got to the second beer and I just said, whatever, I'll be in the band.
Oh, that's what it took. You loosen it up, man.
Yeah.
But the hang was great,
2
right?
beers.
But you had already played together a little bit too, right? So you could see that.
No, we did not. We
that was
together.
just.
We practiced together. We hadn't played. We hadn't played one show though. We hadn't played one show as a band. So
but I mean, practice is important because you're in the room together, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So talk disasters, man. Anything happen on that first tour that was a little sketchy on the road?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how do I know you got these stories, man? I love it.
First of all, we were in this fucking camper that was such a piece of shit. Oh my God. You talk about salad days. All right. We had this thing. We had a European camper with German license plates on it, driven by an English guy.
Nice.
So we're driving around Strasbourg, France. I swear to God, it was like European vacation. And we're just like circling this freaking statue thing, trying to find the club. Oh, excuse me, sir. No, I don't speak English. You just said you don't speak English.
And so you finally made the gig.
Finally made the gig. But that's not the story. It's just the point of like, English truck, German plates, English guy driving. So there was a red flag, maybe like the second to last day or third to last day. I don't remember what it was. And now looking back on it, it's funny because the shit never happens and it probably never happened again. But it happened that night. And since you're the new guy in a band, you're like, oh shit, what did I just get myself into? Because that's exactly what I didn't want. Did not want to get back in a van again where a fist fight could break out in. Okay? I'm done with this shit. So one night we used to do this shit all the time where we're like, oh, fuck it. We don't know how far we're going to drive. We'll just drive until we get tired and then we'll find a hotel. Like when we were still in the van and stuff like that. Like sometimes we had no plan. We would just, let's just go until we can't go anymore. Sometimes that worked. Sometimes it didn't. Like when we couldn't find a hotel, then we'd just be screwed and end up sitting parked up in a rest area for 2 hours, miserable because we couldn't find a hotel. So this was one of those times. But this was definitely driven by the fact that Amsterdam was awaiting and we wanted weed and mushrooms.
Okay.
Well, me and my singer did.
Yeah.
Nobody else in the band at the time used any cannabis products.
Okay.
Now, whole other ball of wax.
Right. Yeah.
But back then, it was just me and my singer were the only two weedies.
And Mecca was waiting.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had a day off. We had this long ass drive and there was a day off between the two shows. So we said, well, we're going to fucking just power through and we're going to get to Amsterdam. So we get to Amsterdam and of course we cannot find a fucking hotel. And we're getting into town like around 7:30, 8 o'clock. And we're like, all right, this is great. We'll park, we'll get some weed, we'll get a hotel room. We'll just get shit-faced baked tonight. The last show's tomorrow. This is going to be great. Nope. We drove around, and if you've ever been to Amsterdam before, it's not a very easy city to drive around in.
Totally. Yeah, you got canals everywhere. Yeah, everybody's on bikes.
So
yeah.
Now we're driving this freaking truck, camper van thing through these narrow streets. We can't find a hotel. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? We were in the van at that point. That's right. The camper van died.
Right. Yeah.
The camper van finally died. Like this thing fell apart through the whole tour. Like it was just,
God.
like one thing broke, then this thing broke, then this thing broke. We had to dump it off. We had to dump it off in Dortmund at the Century Media offices, and then we were stuck in a van for like the last 4 shows. So we had a hotel budget, so we were getting vans and hotels. So that's what happened. We got to Amsterdam. We couldn't find a hotel. So we're in the fucking van, and we're parked behind a gas station, just somewhere on the outskirts of town. We're parked behind a gas station, and this is now where we're going to live for the night sleeping. And at some point, it's so long ago, I can't even remember who the hell it was. I think it was John and Brian. It was John and Brian. It wasn't Matt and Brian. John and Brian got into it somehow. Some screaming match. John was in the back of the van, Brian was in the front, or vice versa. I don't remember the exact seating. But one guy was in the front, one guy was in the back. I was in the middle with a couple of other guys. And this tit for tat is going back, screaming, well, fuck you. Well, you just wanted to get there to get weed anyway. So this shit's going on, and I'm like this. Oh boy, what did I get myself into? And like John's the quietest guy in the world, like doesn't say anything unless he's drinking. And these two are like going at it. I'm like, man, this guy hasn't said anything on the whole tour. And now he's screaming at the singer. And I'm like, what did I get myself into? And then the next day, that's exactly it was those two. And I pulled Matt aside the next day and I went, that last night, that doesn't happen often, does it? No, that like never happened.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm just checking because I might want to change my mind from what I said 30 days ago.
No shit. God.
So, wait a minute.
This was towards the end of the tour at that point?
Oh, it was the second to last day.
Yeah.
So
man.
we were look.
Yeah.
We all know what tours are like. Second to last day, you're ready to kill yourself or everybody.
You're crispy. Your laundry. If you haven't had a laundry day, yeah, man. Nobody's been eating well on the road. Nobody's getting exercise or sleep. Yeah.
No, laundry day. What's that? You mean the last time you were at the hotel, you washed 4 pairs in the sink?
Yep. I thank God for the new Tide packs, right? That you can bring.
Yes, and then hung them out on the balcony until the good wind caught them, and then blew them down to the ground. Where now they're dirty again.
Oh, that's rock star living, baby. That is rock star living, man. Well, how much time did you guys get in Amsterdam on that run?
None. We had enough time because we slept in the fucking rest area or the gas station, and then all I remember was when we were on tour with Kitty, and then all I remember was the end of the night. Everybody was out of their fucking minds. Like we had all these mushrooms, and we literally left drugs on the table because we're like, I can't look. I'm not eating any more of this shit because I don't want to trip for a freaking month. We got to get on a plane tomorrow, and I can't smoke anymore. So like, I have a picture somewhere in my archives of like mushrooms and like a quarter of weed just left on the dressing room table because no one wanted to take it.
God, yeah, the housekeeping people are like so excited that they got a chance to clean up after your mess. Man.
I'm sure they went outside and just gave it to a junkie or something sitting in the hallway or in the hall near the Milkweg.
Oh yeah, you played the Milkweg, and
that's where we were playing the second room of the Milkweg that night.
I love it, man. That was amazing venue for sure.
Yeah.
I've
played every room in that venue, from the tiniest one with my old hardcore band, and the middle one with Kitty and Shadows Fall, and I played the big room when I was filling in for Prong a couple of years ago.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah,
we hadn't even talked about the Prong gig, man. So when you get a gig like that, like, how are these recommendations coming? Like, where do you hear about it? How much time do you get?
that was a simple one. Tommy Victor and I are very, very close.
Okay.
I'm a huge prong fan. Tommy and I have been friends for a few decades now. Tommy was just on tour with me at that time with Prong and Overkill.
Okay.
At they toured with us at bottom of 2022, and they just got this guy Griffin playing drums, and he was still new and like first tours, but he also had this other band, like this Instagram band that he played in too, and he didn't really want to like commit to Tommy. So, but he did the tour. They did the tour. They sounded good, and then just they ended up cutting a record, and then after that they went and did their next record, and then something happened in the interim between cutting the record and the record coming out where I think Griff's other band might have they might have had some scheduling issues, but for whatever it was, the point was he wasn't playing in Prong anymore. So Tommy called me. He's like, "Hey, I got this tour in Europe." I go, "Is it the Life of Agony freaking River Runs Red tour that I just saw advertised?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "That's amazing." He goes, "You want to do it?" I go, "Yes, I do."
Hell yes, man.
I was, I was available, and I was like, "Absolutely, I do."
I've talked to quite a few people over the last couple of years about the importance of saying yes.
Yeah.
Just never say no, man. Been a couple of regrets that I've had in my life from saying no. And looking back on it, the stuff that you don't have enough of a forecast for, you just think about where you're at right now and maybe what sounds like a no right now could really affect.
Right. I'm trying to think about that too, because like there's some stuff I've been offered for next year that, I'm like, financially, is it what I want? I'm like, might not necessarily be what I want, but I could do it for what they're offering to give. And it might not be a bad idea to get out there and do it anyways. You never know what might happen from coming from this. So
that's it.
It's just because you want X amount of dollars or whatnot might not be in the budget, but it might be a good idea for you to go and just take it on the chin and go anyways.
And we're at a point right now, right? Like you said, there aren't a ton
but
of
not take it on the chin for 8 years with no raises.
Amen. Here you go, Blabbermouth. Here he comes again. Hey, you were talking about doing cover gigs, and
I did say none, but I should rephrase.
Right.
There was a $25 cost of living raise.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
brother, we saw Mangini jump on here on Instagram a bit ago, and I don't know if Mike is still watching, but we talked about cover gigs, right?
Mike, if you're still watching, we were talking about you on the last podcast.
Yes, we were, man.
Remember Drum Camp 2011?
Oh, buddy. Well, maybe Mike can come on. He can bring that memory back to life.
13, rather.
Well, we were talking about doing cover gigs, to supplement and fill in places, and he's like, "Man, I'm not above, doing a gig to fill in time. I mean, we're we're drummers, right? We're musicians, right? So we need to be out there playing. And if somebody at some point says, "Oh my God, I saw that guy playing, whatever, an R&B tune or a funk tune, with this, like bar band down the street," to fill in dates, it's no different than, Steve Smith, right? Doing the thing down at, in the bar at Yoshi's, whatever, in San Francisco.
It's not, and some of those gigs are ridiculous. I was talking with one of my best friends plays in a very prominent wedding band up here. We just went to see them a couple weeks ago. We just went out with his parents the other night because we're close to the family. My friend used to be one of my students 20 years ago. So anyways, I'm very close with his father and his mother. So we were out the other night, and his father told me what he made the other night in his gigs, and I went, "Fuck you, he did."
Right. Right.
And he goes, "Yeah." I went, "He made what?" And he had to drive 20 minutes to do it.
Oh yeah, man. Yep. Yeah. You're hating that gig all the way to the bank, man. Yeah.
I flew to Indonesia and made $200.
Oh God. Oh man. Okay. Who did you fly to Indonesia with for $200?
It wasn't $200. It was. Next question.
Okay. Man, I will
Here's a hint.
say.
Here's a
And
hint. Here's a hint.
oh my God. I love it. You've got swag everywhere from every gig you've done. I love this, man. But I wasn't trying to paint you in a corner on that.
It
I,
was
I
it was it was still $200 a day,
okay. Yeah.
including the travel time.
Oh yeah, that's brutal,
But
man.
look, man,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
who the fuck
long way
goes
to
on?
go.
Who goes on a 9-day travel trip for one gig?
Right. Yeah. Well, we did the
Someone who's
Philippines
making a
last
lot of
year.
money. That's who.
We did Manila for Thanksgiving last year. Flock went down and did that. And I did a few days on either side of it just because I'd not been to the Philippines before. So when I was looking forward to a little vacation time on either side. Those weren't paid days. Those were just days that I can kind of, at least get jet lag worn off a little bit.
Hey man, and that's a good place to do it. Shadows Fall went there 3 times.
Yeah. God, I'll
We
bet,
shot
man.
it. We shot our live DVD in Manila.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, we played
Yeah.
it. We played it. We played a huge festival down there. We headlined a huge festival down there called SummerSlam back in 2010.
Okay.
And we shot our DVD there. Yeah, we have some great friends down there. Our friend Vernon Go, he used to run this magazine that was called Pulp. And his family is very dominant in Manila. Let's just
Understood. Yeah, I met
say
a few of
that.
those families there.
Got some connections. He's a
Yeah.
good man to be friends with.
I think anybody involved in the business has those kinds of connections down there. I think
Yeah.
that's the only way that they can make that work.
Yeah.
Well, you
But
might have had
one
the
one
same
of
experience that
one
I
of the
did.
few places I've gone in my life where I've walked in and everything that I wrote on the rider actually was there. Like, holy shit.
Really?
In Manila, I get
Yeah.
the whole draw.
Wow.
They can't provide this in Chicago, but Manila, they get it right. Like,
Interesting. Yeah.
so,
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
I'm not going to name some names, but we did chat offline about this guy in particular and somebody that could have completely been canceled after this one particular experience in Manila with very prominent musicians. He had kind of an all-star band was playing down there. There was footage of him coming unglued on his drum tech. Yep. Or not drum tech, but the crew guys.
On
Yeah.
his equipment, more like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but then remember he got up on the microphone as the band continued to go and started rapping, swearing at all the guys that said that they couldn't get his drum set properly. They had a splash placed imperfectly. And
Anyway.
So I will tell you, okay, so I bring that experience up. Number one, I'd never been to Manila. So my perspective is I see this guy in sort of a heroic status, talking down on a particular area because of his experience. And I might have had a perspective that was different. And thank goodness I didn't hold that against them, because when I went there, the people in Manila were incredible. Number two, I thought that guy has to be the biggest douchebag on the planet when I watched that video. And I did see the public apology afterward, and I didn't know how sincere it was. I finally saw this guy play again recently, where I told you at the top of his game, he was playing a lot better. I feel like he probably got a little bit humbled over the last few years from experiences he's had. So hopefully some emotional intelligence was gained between those days and now.
Well, Kev, it's like you said earlier, we all have our shit days, and I mean, Lord knows what happened on the phone with him that day.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
If anything, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm not excusing anyone's behavior, but like we said, every day is different. But there is definitely a modicum of decorum that we should execute.
Amen.
At these gigs. Do you think there hasn't been any time where I wanted to take this chunk? This isn't the. How come they can't get? It says 18, not
right.
20. This is not a 18. I throw it on the ground like that. This is broke. No, this is. I literally just pulled this off the kit because it's broken.
Oh my God!
It's already smashed.
Yeah, love it.
I noticed that today when I was playing. Every time I go around it and hit it, and
conk.
Why is there nothing coming through the headphone?
Yeah. I do love that China though. Got the same Oriental.
You know what I mean? It's like you should. There's definitely been.
Oh,
All
yes,
right, I'm
but
guilty. I'm guilty of that a little bit. The last time I went to Brazil,
yeah.
I was sort of being a douchebag. I can admit that. That's going to be the headline right there. I was sort of being a douchebag.
Hold on,
Um,
but you can admit it. So if you want to qualify that, yeah, let's talk about accountability.
well, you know why? Because I got this fucking again. All right, so we played Summer Breeze last year, 2 years ago in Brazil. This is when I was
Okay.
still with Overkill. This is when Dave Ellison was filling in on bass with us.
Right.
And we get to Summer Breeze Festival, which is the biggest festival in Brazil. Every drummer in the sun, I see all these backline kids, Pearl, Tama, blah blah blah, all these nice drums. Where's the Overkill kit? There it is. What, I get the 1998 Star Classic kit, like the first
Oh,
year that they put it out? Like what? Why do I have Tamas? My rider says Pearl. I'm playing Pearl since 2013. So now I'm on this old ass white marine Pearl Tama kit with power toms. So that's the
okay.
first problem. I'm
Yeah.
already like, shit, I can't even, I'm not even going to be comfortable on this thing.
Yeah.
And all I did was I took, and the heads were like probably the same ones that came on them in
Oh
1998.
no.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
so everything is just shit. And every time I hit the cymbal, the cymbal moves because the hardware doesn't
oh
tighten enough.
God.
So I took a Sharpie and I wrote on the drum heads from the 10-inch tom down, this drum set sucks
Oh
on
yeah.
the heads.
Batter head. So nobody's seeing that in the
Batter
crowd. And
heads that
yeah,
no
that
one's going to give a shit about because
yeah.
they're on there from 1942 anyways. They
Right.
were probably
Yeah.
calfskin.
Yeah. Right. Oh Jesus, man. What do
They
you
took the Duraline drum head. I'm going to really date myself. They
yeah.
took the Duraline drum heads off the drum set.
Uh,
And
that's I do remember
remember
those
those?
the pseudo calf. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Pseudo Phalem's head, like
what
Kevlar.
oh, that's right. The Phenom. Oh my God.
So
Yeah. The
so I took
woven.
that so I took that picture, Kev, and I sandbagged myself because I put the usual picture of the kit up, like,
Yeah.
here's the office of the day. This is what I
Right.
got stuck with today down here.
Right.
And I put it up, and the comments just started coming. Oh, well, you shouldn't say the drum set sucks. I don't. It doesn't look. It looks like a good drum set to me. I'm like, oh, god damn
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you
Oh,
can't win there, man.
no, I
Like,
couldn't.
well, man, dude, I've had some of those experiences, like backline kits. If you're out like on a tour and they advance the tour, and then what you get is nowhere near. Like I'm talking, like those like
Even
percuss.
after they sent you the backline request thing that said
Oh
all
yeah,
your shit that you're
yeah.
not going to get when you get there.
This never happened with Flock or any of the like the high level bands, but there was a band, there was a prominent artist, and I'm not exaggerating. It was like the Ludwig, the toy drum set that they sell, like they used to sell at Toys R Us,
Yeah,
like in the
yeah.
discount version of Guitar Center, you might find that on like the budget bin. And yeah, I ended up paying my own backline to go source it out just because there was no fucking way I'm gonna play on this kit. But and I did not mean to be a diva. There's just no way I could, right? There's no way I could play on a tour with this because it'd fall apart. But
Yeah.
what do you carry, man? If you get if you're on a festival and you got a backline kit, what do you carry for yourself?
I go. I go if I'm going bare bones, like minimum is my cymbals, pedals, and electronics. Like if I'm using
Okay.
a band that has triggers, I'll bring my triggers with me in a TM2 just to trigger the kick drums.
Yeah.
My pedals, stick bag, and cymbals.
Okay.
That's though, and then next set of necessities. If I have another case or room, my throne, and
Okay.
then a snare drum. Throne really should go anytime it can because I'm really picky about mine. I use the Tama hydraulic, but I can use like a rock and sock or something. I just like to
Yeah.
have a hydraulic throne, and
You
that's the
backrest?
worst thing. The worst thing to just to get a shitty throne.
Yeah, the worst. And hydraulic helps, man. It's like
Yeah.
like in a quick pinch, you got adjustment,
Yep.
but no backrest, right?
No. And
I want
then and
okay.
if I go and if one more step beyond, like if I do a South American tour and it's fly dates and we're going to be using could be a sketchy drum set every day, then I bring a rack with me too. I've brought a travel rack with me too.
Wow.
I've miniaturized it so it's just like the front of it. So the main part of my kit is right, and then I can backline like 2 or 3 cymbal stands to use at the outskirts. But as long as I have the front of the kit with the toms the way they're supposed to be set up, it saves so much setup time, saves so much aggravation.
Yeah, no, that's great,
But then
man.
it's a golf club case that I got to drag with me too. So
Okay, yeah, well, golf club case is better than a huge flight case, right?
yeah, well, that's how I store it. That's it's light enough where I can put it right in a golf club in a hard plastic SKB golf club case.
Okay, right on. That's great, man. Okay, so Pro pedals as well?
No, DW pedal endorser.
Okay. Which ones? The machine drive?
I use the MFG chain drive.
Okay. There we are.
Do not use the direct drive.
Oh, look at this.
I'm not a direct drive guy.
Look at that. Oh, nice.
MFG.
Yeah.
A little bit of grip tape.
You bet. I know
old school Damar beater because now I'm back to being Charlie. So
sure. If people are watching this and they hear all this about the tech talk, I mean, drummers want to know this stuff, especially, you've got your precision stuff. You mentioned having the kick drums triggered. You got the TM2 there. To be able to have that just machine gun double bass happening all the time, where you've got consistency. What patches are you using for your kick drums for those double bass patterns?
Let me tell you one thing: the triggering and all that has nothing to do with my feet.
Oh, sure. I mean, I know your speed.
It's got nothing to do. What I mean by that is nothing to do with my sound. My sound basically was built on me slamming at the bass drums with my feet.
Okay.
I only started triggering maybe 2010 or so, and Derek Roddy's the one that got me into doing it, because he's like, triggering is not cheating. All it is, it's just it's a small microphone. He goes, you want to have your bass drums be heard, wouldn't you? I'm like, yeah. Right. He goes, you can't hear Slayer's kick drums when you go see them live, can you? I'm like, good point. You can't, because they're just in the fucking, they're there, but there's just a rumble in the mix because they're not triggered.
Yeah.
But you can hear Charlie's kick drums when he plays live because the trigger's there. So you hear the attack.
Sure.
You hear it. You heard it with Vinnie Paul's.
Oh, God.
You heard it with Raymond's with Fear Factory. Right. So Derek said, he goes, look, if anything, triggers help you play better, because when you're wearing ears and you have the triggers in, when your feet are fucked up, guess what you hear? Oh, shit. When you think that I'm cruising tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, I'm not. And it reins you in. So it helps you as a player. So for me, I just use, to be honest with you, I don't even know what the hell kick drum sound it is. It's just whatever stock kick that's in the TM2.
Yeah.
And it's just used just to have a little bit of like top presence end to the mix. That's it.
Yep.
Like I get it. When my front of house guy with Shadows Fall mixes the trigger in, it's very, very subtle. It's not a lot at all. Whereas Overkill likes to trigger the whole entire drum set and make it very, the only word for it really is metallic sounding, because it sounds like that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty intense. There's a lot of attack there. I personally do not care for triggering the toms. I just don't I hated the way it felt. It just killed the resonance for me. And I just don't think that needs to be triggered.
You sent me a clip when you went to see the Pantera show the other day, and I think, if I remember right, it was 5 Minutes Alone. Am I right about that?
Could have been. I taped a bunch of songs.
Did you? Okay,
probably, yes.
I just remember the clip you sent me. I was like, holy shit, that cannon, that snare drum. My God, it literally sounded like a cannon going off. And I never got to see Pantera play live, man. I hung with Diamond Vinny, and I was a Pantera favorite metal band from back in the day. But it was so prominent in the mix. The kick and the snare, for sure, was such a big part of Vinny's sound. And Charlie nails it. Oh, are we looking at Charlie's snare right now?
I gotta clean this fucking thing.
Look at this. Oh, yes, man. Look at this.
This has got to come out too, because I'm going to start actually using this. I'm going to use this for
the beautiful.
This is the drum he's using. It's his signature model. but he's using Vinny's samples for the
Yep.
whole kit.
Yep.
So
Have to. Yeah,
I
he's
mean
not going to come out.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hell yes. You were at a show in New Haven, Connecticut, man. I don't know where you were sitting. Were you out front, or were you actually side stage, or where were you at when Flock?
We were directly. If you were looking from the stage and you saw where the soundboard was, we were directly above that. Like,
Okay.
Bronca must have went and cordoned off an area for us because
Nice.
there was tape on it that said VIP, and
Awesome.
we're looking. Me and Bobby and my wife were going, we think they roped this off for us because we were thinking that we were supposed to sit outside the tape, and like some of the security guards like, no, we think you're supposed to be in there. Like,
Oh,
oh,
nice.
awesome.
That's
So
awesome.
like we had this little VIP thing, and it was great because like we had tables and stuff, and we had our drinks up there, and all of a sudden,
like, oh, the rain. Oh,
damn it. So
dude. Brutal, man. Yeah. No, I just like, had you and I gotten to meet beforehand, it would have been fun to kind of walk through the kit and talk to you about like those samples. Because when we're doing those things, we're using the samples from the old Flock records, right? So from back in the 80s, you got the Simmons, you got the Lynn drums, and it depends on who's mixing how much of their, if they're getting a 50-50 blend of the acoustic kit or the, with those triggers in. But I would have loved to have hung with you.
Or are you getting 110% of
yeah. Which is probably what you
classic Simmons sound.
That's it. There's plenty of that in the set for
Love
sure,
it.
man. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep. I have it up. I have it on the pad right now because the classic SDS5 tom sound is used. Yeah. I mean, it's used with half the songs that we're doing for the Bubba Bash with when Neil plays the electric shit.
Oh yes, man. Are you gigging? You're playing at that gig?
Huh?
Are you playing Bubba Bash?
Yeah, I do it every year.
I didn't realize. Oh my god, because I knew like Why Not. Some of the other tributes were there, but you've been playing it every year.
I do it every year. I've done it from its inception. At this point, I'm one of the directors of the
no
board.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Yeah. If we're not gigging, I need to come out and see it. I need to come out and see it, man. I mean,
you absolutely do.
I know that
we've got a killer lineup this year. We have some new faces this year. I don't want to ruin it because they haven't made the official announcements yet. But,
okay.
I've been told from Tim from Why Not we have a stacked bill this year. I'm like, all right, that sounds good.
That's killer, man. And are they close to finishing up Neil's pavilion? They've already got like the rest area, but I know that they've been working on the entirety of his pavilion now, right?
St. Catherine's, it's open. Yeah,
it is like the whole thing. It's all okay.
They did a giant golf tournament thing up there. I think it was in August.
Yeah, well, Alan Cross, the big DJ up there in at CNFY, talked about it on the podcast, and it was just being finished up then. I think before that golf tournament. So, yeah, man, I'm excited to be able to come up. I haven't been to the pavilion yet, even the formation of it, but to be around that many people that hold reverence to Neil would be phenomenal.
It really is a magical night, Kevin. It is.
Bet.
Everybody from the time that we pull in Friday, because sometimes the band comes in early and they'll do a rehearsal in Jersey at Tim's house. And sometimes I go down for that because he's only like 2 hours from me. And it's on the way to where we play in Pennsylvania anyway. So sometimes we have rehearsal at Tim's, then we'll all go out to Glenside and usually meet up. Like not everybody comes in night before the show, but some people do. And we have a dinner somewhere, with Michael and everybody else that comes night before. And then the load in the next day and the sound check camaraderie, and the sound check is like a fucking show in itself, really.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You got to rehearse everybody because I usually luck out, like I've said, like the last couple of years, because I've gone to a rehearsal the day before and then everybody gets mad at me. They're like, oh, well, you got a day at Tim's house. I'm like, well, I live close enough. Sorry. Not my fault that you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Natural Science, and that song's 9 minutes long, so I need practice.
Oh my God, that's
not
so
this
badass.
year. I did that first year.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I did that first year, and then every year we pass it down to someone else. So we do the natural science hazing.
Nice. Yeah, man. Yeah, that is a marathon for sure, man.
Yeah,
Besides,
I've got my work cut out for me this year. That's why I'm already practicing one of my songs.
what are you playing?
I know the show's not for 3 months, but I'm still
Yeah.
already practicing it.
What are you playing this year?
I'm playing a few songs, but the one I'm already working on now is Free Will because I never
Awesome.
played it right, so I want to play it right.
Right on. Yeah,
And
man.
it's not fucking easy.
There's no cutting corners on any of that stuff. I know because
No.
everybody's there, arms crossed, right? They're watching
Yep.
every note, and if you don't make it, if you don't get it
And
perfect,
I really think that we're gonna do it. I think this year we're gonna do it on my kit, which
really,
is that. Yeah.
yeah, your
I'm just
replica.
waiting. I'm waiting for the guy to finish painting my toms right now, and he said they'd be done by November. So if I do have the tribute kit up, that's going to add a whole other element to the Bubba Bash too, because every year we've just done it on Mike Hetzel's kit, and it's not like a Neil tribute kit. It's just
Yeah.
a 7-piece Masters kit.
Right.
But it's like if you. I joke with him all the time. I'm like, if this was a Styx tribute, everybody would go, "Oh yeah, the kit's perfect," because it's like set up just like Todd's, with like the rides above the last tom, and like it really looks like Todd's sort of.
Yeah.
So like I was joking, like, "Oh, we're on the Styx drum set for the Rush tribute."
Right, man.
So this year I'm hoping that Big Red goes, so that then that way everybody gets to be uncomfortable.
That's great. So
because
you got
trust me,
the odd
it
sizes?
is not comfortable to play one bit.
23-inch kicks?
No, it's got 24s because the 23s are only 23 was only with DW.
Okay.
The kit is actually 24s. My
Okay.
24s right now are in the process of being painted.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I will be substituting those with 22s because I have
Nice.
22s as well.
Okay.
But
no, if you're watching this,
it's not even. It's not the 22s and the 24s. It's this stuff. It's
right.
It's
Yeah.
the toms. It's the ride all the way the hell over here,
Yeah.
and the crash on the top, and it's having to go over here to play these
Those
it's
concert
one thing
toms.
for me to sit here and play Free Will on this drum set that's
Yeah.
compact.
Right.
but it's another thing to do it on that.
Right. Yeah. Those concert toms up top there. It's a reach for sure.
It is a reach.
Yeah. No
It
chimes.
It is.
You'll have the chimes, I'm sure. Right.
Yeah, I do. I've got the tubular bells too. Those are coming in next week from Rochester.
Awesome. That's great, man. Well, listen, brother, I know John is probably waiting for you to get the hell off the podcast so you guys can go have some family time. But I love this. Like I told you, the next time we're gonna do
family time. Let's feed the cats and go to bed time.
Yes, sir, man. That's life of a rock star, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Bittner. Guys, if you came late, there are 2 parts to this. The first one got Jason a little bit of trouble with the media, and this one, who knows?
This one probably will too.
This one might too. We just touched a little bit on his newest band, Category 7. If you guys go to category7official.com and check out that site, dig into this record, man. There's so much incredible music, and in particular, of course, Jason's drumming is phenomenal. He talked about Bubba Bash, which is going to happen in January. So I will put show notes together with links to both Jason's personal site, the Category 7 official site. I'll put his Instagram links and all of his social media stuff. He's very active on socials. And I'm not going to get you in trouble by telling you that if folks want information or to contact you, that you'll be responsive to them. But I have seen you reach back out to people, which is pretty awesome. So
I reach back to anybody. Anybody wants to contact me, jbittnerdrums@gmail.com. Very easy.
Love it.
Or
man.
direct message me through Facebook and Instagram.
Excellent.
Drum lessons being scheduled now.
I love it. Well, guys, get your lessons, and hopefully, you'll be in an opportunity where maybe you can do what Jason did and follow in his footsteps, getting, some peripheral gigs out of it too. So, thank you again, brother. I've really, really enjoyed getting to know you, and
Absolutely.
dude,
Likewise.
you, not only an incredible drummer, man, but I think, you and I could probably talk for days with stories. So
I think so.
I'm glad you're kicking ass, dude. And it's been fun to get to know you. So folks, man, thank you for coming back here. And got a cool new band to showcase as well. Another super group that Billy Sheehan's got together, The Fell with Toby Rand. Those guys will be coming on here next week. So subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/.
Another upstate New York boy.
That's right. That's
Billy.
right.
Billy's a
Yeah,
Buffalo boy.
man, that's right. Buffalo. We'll talk Buffalo and probably a little,
Go down the wormhole and research and just type in Jason Bittner, Billy Sheehan, Shy Boy.
Oh yeah, you guys did that together?
Yeah, it's Simon Phillips' studio on Simon's kit.
Wow. On the Talus version of Shy Boy?
The David Lee Roth version, but
Okay,
it's
yeah, right on,
same
man.
thing.
Yeah,
Good
yeah. Well,
song.
it was wickedly done back in the Talus days for sure. And I love Billy, man. I'm psyched about his new project too. So, guys, do this. Subscribe down there below, youtube.com/adaccesskevin. Thank you, Jason Bittner. Thank you,
You got it, man.
to Jonna for sharing you. And be good humans, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon.